I'm really excited today to interview the author of The Awakening, The Evolution of Wars, Harry W. Walker. Thank you for being here today to answer the questions that we have prepared for you. Before we begin, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your background as an author?
Well, um, I'm 68 years old. I've had a very interesting and jumbled life up until I was in my late 30s. I joined the Coast Guard right out of high school. After the Coast Guard, I had many jobs and I moved around quite a bit. And I finally landed in California, where I stayed most of my life. And at about 30, after bouncing around on many jobs, I stopped and asked myself, what am I doing with my life after a work injury? I finally decided that I needed to make some changes, so I moved to Las Vegas. I became a poker dealer for 20 years. At the end of my poker career, I was an Uber driver for 7.5 years in Vegas. I just recently moved to South Carolina in the Charleston area, and I'm very happy to be here. And during that time, I started writing books. Again, I've always wanted to write books, but I had difficulties that I'll explain in a bit.
Well, can you provide a brief overview of The Awakening, The Evolution Wars, and its central themes?
Yes, The Evolution Wars is a book about aliens that have been visiting our planet for millions of years, and they have a desire to take our planet. And they've been trying to get rid of the human race, or at least most of them. They want to keep a small portion for a slave workforce. They've been coming here for millions of years, and they finally determined that we were a very bright race and the things they were trying weren't working. So they decided to inhibit or stop completely our evolution. So over millions of years, we have not been evolving as we should be. And in the evolution wars, it's about one man who, through a series of dreams, his evolutionary clock, let's call it, gets turned on again. And he wakes up to what's going on and becomes the core of the human resistance against the aliens trying to take our planet.
And what inspired you to explore the topic of evolution and its societal implications in your book?
Well, I've always been a reader and a learner. I'm one of those people that you need to learn something new every day if you can. And as a people, our education system right now kind of scares me because it's not teaching people what they need to know to get by. Or at least in my opinion. And we need a better sense of education and purpose. And evolution is something we should be doing through learning all the time.
I like that. I agree. How do you believe the debate between evolution and creationism has evolved over time? And what role does it play in today's society?
Well, that's an interesting question. It took me a while to think about it, how to say it. Uh, I don't see I don't see a debate that should be formed there because a lot of people are talking about, evolution and this and that, and then there's God and this and that. I think it's one and the same. A higher power, however you name it, God or whatever your personal beliefs are. I like to go back to the easy one. God created the earth in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested. Well, in my opinion, on the seventh day he moved to the next galaxy and started over again and just kept going because the entire universe, if you're religious or not, was all created by the same thing. If you believe it was a higher power, everything in it is part of that. So there is no conflict that should be. We need to accept it.
In your book, you discuss the concept of the awakening. Could you elaborate on what this signifies and its relevance to the evolution wars?
Yes, the awakening is where the main character in the book, through a series of true dreams, his mind gets awoken to the fact that where they should start being in an evolutionary status, and he starts catching up very quickly. It's like his evolutionary alarm clock goes off and sets him off, and he becomes the core for the resistance because his evolution is more mental than a lot of other things. And it's his growth there and his effect on other people it starts the whole thing. And that's what the awakening is humans waking up where they should be, not where we are.
The intersection of science and religion is a prominent theme in your book. How do you navigate this complex relationship and what insights do you offer?
Well, like I said a little earlier, I think the evolution in religion and science basically are the same. They just look at things a little differently. A lot of people believe in God. They believe in Buddha. There's Buddhism. There's Zen. There's all kinds of different religions. Even the Quran and the Bible are so similar if you look at them discreetly and don't take the side of mine's better than yours, because most all major religions same thing, peace, love, and brotherhood, almost all of them. So I don't see a conflict there. I see the conflict being a small group of people getting other people to believe their religion is better than the next when it's all basically the same.
I agree. There's only one, right? It just really depends on your perception and how you believe in things.
Really. Yeah.
Um, your characters undergo significant personal journeys throughout the narrative. How do these individual stories contribute to the broader discussion on evolution and society?
Well, there's a number of characters that are very mentally disciplined that do much better at it than others. There are other people that are dealing with emotional issues that they don't quite have control over and they have more trouble. And you can see the differences. But as it goes forward, they either the stronger ones get it very easily and then they can help the others. Some of the others will never quite adjust because they're still addicted to the life the aliens had been giving us for years instead of what we should have been doing. And they have a conflict, and if they can't resolve it, they have a lot of problems.
The awakening seems to challenge traditional perspectives on evolution. What key arguments or ideas do you present that diverge from conversational wisdom?
Well, I thought about that for a long time, and just recently, with all of our new technology, we're telling the people, well, NASA, they keep coming out with a lot of things from the James Webb Telescope, which we'll probably want to talk about later. But they come up and they say, we've got all these new discoveries. What we've been telling you is true for the last 60 or 70 or 100 years. It's just not so, and we're just now learning this. But now they decide that they know. Well, in another 50 years, they're going to come back and say again, well, we were wrong there too, because we don't know. The universe is far too big for us to apply our rules on the entire universe, but that's what the human race does. So every so often it has to oh, sorry, we were wrong. This is now what we believe to be true. And if that's true or not, we won't know for another 100 years.
Wow.
So,
The book appears to address not only scientific aspects, but also ethical and philosophical implications of evolution. What ethical dilemmas or moral considerations arise from themes explored in your work?
well, in the book, the aliens have, in my opinion, and through the book, you'll find that I blame all of our worst human attributes on the aliens to divide us and keep us at each other's throats and trying to, one group trying to dominate the other, like you can see throughout history. And I think that the awakening with the truth that people now have because they can speak without language directly into each other's minds. Lies are now almost impossible to keep because you can see the truth when you can see their thoughts and hear their thoughts, and they can hear yours. So there's no hiding.
Finally, what do you hope readers will take away from The Awakening, The Evolution Wars? What conversations or reflections do you aim to inspire through your writing?
When I started the book, I didn't have a lot of aims and desires, but they kept coming up all on their own. But the one thing that I see and that I truly believe is the core problem, and people have said this for many years, but they've never really addressed it, is the breakdown of the modern family. We need solid family. We need people that no matter what, they're your family and you're their family, and we take care of each other no matter what. You don't have to always like your family, but you have to support your family. And that's just one of the strongest themes I have in my book. As a matter of fact, in my book, to become a part of the family, you have to go through probation to make sure you're ready to become part of the family.
I like that. I like that you have to fight your way to be part of a family and to be fully accepted. You also have to behave a certain way for people to believe you. I really like that. That's a very strong message. Um, if you could offer guidance to an aspiring writer who aligns with your genre and writing style, what would it be?
Well, I've been having stories in my head for my entire life, and I had a lot of trouble getting them out because of special issues that I have that at the time were insurmountable problems. I'm dyslexic. Spelling and grammar and me are on a seventh grade level. Me and reading are way above that. So I had struggles with that for a long time. And I just want to tell anyone that has similar problems like mine, dyslexia is not a learning disability, it's a learning challenge. Once you learn the way you learn and not the way other people learn, you'll do well. And to inspire me, I have three people that inspired me, all writers. The first is Samuel Clemens Mark Twain. He he inspired me with a lot of his books, and then with some of the things I learned about him later. Many people may not know it, but Jack London became a writer as well because of Mark Twain. And Mark Twain gave him advice in San Francisco when he was working as a bellhop, and he told him he wanted to write. He says, "What should I write about?" Mark Twain looked at him and he says, "Write about what you know." And that's what John London then went to the Yukon, had many experiences, wrote White Fang, Call of the Wild, all of these great books he wrote from experiences he had in the Yukon. The other writer that influenced me a lot, and more because I learned more about him, he has great books with Louis L'Amour. Louis L'Amour traveled the world and traveled all over for a long time before he ever settled down. And then he wrote his books after his travels, and he made great books. Like I feel a little like him because I never settled down until I was over 30. I traveled all over California. I moved here, I went there. I did all kinds of different jobs. And finally I asked myself at about 30, what the hell are you doing? You know, what's going on with your life? That's when I moved to Las Vegas and became a poker dealer and settled down and then started writing.
Well, thank you for sharing that. You and I have a similar like about Mark Twain. I remember one of his quotes about if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. So that stood by me. So it's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Harry, where can readers purchase your book? Is there a website available where we can access more information about you and both?
Well, I try not to put too much about me into anything. Currently, I have a website, but I'm having trouble with the people controlling it, so I'm not sure how well it's working. But it is evolutionwars.com, where you can look. I haven't been able to get into it and adjust it or do anything, which is not my strong point anyhow. But also, it's available at anywhere you can buy books through Ingram Books. You can order it. It's at Barnes and Noble. It's at Goodreads. It's at Amazon. Uh, Walmart, you can even order it online. Now, currently as a self-published author, my book is print on demand, so people try to order it and it may take a while for it to show up. I'm hoping with a Bookmark Alliance's help, this will change soon in the future.
Well, we look forward to this partnership with you. Um, how has your collaboration with Bookmark Alliance been? We value your input as it assists us in refining our services to better cater to our authors.
Well, it's been a very short association so far, but it's been very uplifting. It's been a lot of information and a lot of help, and I feel like I'm turning a corner because I'm getting the help that I personally have trouble dealing with, and that's basically it's the title of my fifth book. I'm a 20th century man stuck in the 20 trapped in the 21st century. Does it mean it don't get along too well?
Well,
So I'm looking forward to the help that I've been receiving, and it's all excellent. So I'm looking forward to the future with much anticipation and hope at this point.
well, thank you for trusting us, Harry, and it's been a pleasure conducting this interview. with you today. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for giving me your time and assistance as well, because I hope together we'll both do well.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.